Hello, hello, hello. If you've ever browsed YouTube in the past few years or so, you've most definitely have come across mukbang content. Mukbang content usually revolves around someone eating in front of a camera, usually a whole buffet full of food. Most times they just usually stuff it down their throat until they can't handle it anymore. One example most people know is Nick Avocado, and you know how he is. Most say, even I, that he's a pretty smart individual playing a character, which some people don't believe that he is for some reason.
Today we're having french fries.
But for today's story, we're talking about someone by the name of tzuyang. Now, tzuyang is a very popular Korean mukbang YouTuber with over 10 million subs who makes mukbang content, obviously, as we're talking about. She mostly goes around restaurants, ordering as much food as she possibly can. She's even been to one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurants and recorded the video with him in it.
So nice to see you.
I don't speak English.
Sit down there. So nice to see you.
저 너무 영광이라고.
Now,
It's a great honor.
I'm just surprised he wasn't calling her fucking, you know.
shut the fuck up, you fat mouth little stupid bitch.
But just to keep in mind, the amount of food she can actually fit into her stomach is just mind-boggling. Like, if you saw how many empty plates she leaves, you think a whole bunch of Americans came over as if it was a golden corral with a bunch of kids who eat free. Most of the kids being over the age of fucking 50.
사장님, 주문해도 돼요? 짜장면 8개만 주세요.
8개요?
네.
누가 어디가요?
저 혼자 먹어요.
뭔 8개요?
많이 먹어요.
배도 안 나는 거 아니야?
아직 배가 안 불러요.
tzuyang practically has an infinite stomach, a black hole, you could say, is inside her. Now, the situation we're going to talk about today is something very sad, tragic, and very upsetting, to say the least, that absolutely no one should ever go through. Now, to get started, tzuyang used to have a boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, and said boyfriend would be abusive and presumably manipulate tzuyang. All of what I'm about to talk about would come out on a stream later on YouTube, on her channel, exposing the tragedies that were happening with her and her late ex, with her lawyers present to expose and show all the evidence of her abuse and violence from her ex-boyfriend. Firstly, I just want to thank the YouTube comment under this video, otherwise I wouldn't be understanding any of what was coming out of this video. And also a big thanks to the YouTuber called Dark Asia with Megan. She best summed up what was happening with all the events revolving around tzuyang and her ex-boyfriend. Now, to actually get started, let's start off with how tzuyang's ex would manipulate her. One of the most common ways being was by threatening and blackmailing her with sneaky and explicit videos of her. Basically, to sum it up, revenge porn. So that way he can make tzuyang do anything he asks of her. The things being asked will come up later in this video. Now, before anyone says, oh, why didn't she report this to the police? Keep in mind, countries in and around Asia, such as Korea, where she's from, have a very unfavorable justice system, and their culture being different from us here in the States, where their culture wouldn't receive tzuyang very well if these videos ever came out into the light and public, unlike here in the States where we basically embrace it. Now, other sorts of abuse tzuyang had endured with her ex was physical and sexual assault, as shown with her lawyer showing photographic images of said abuse, among also there being signs of abuse present in her mukbang videos. Previously, some of her viewers would mention the marks and bruises around her, but tzuyang would dismiss any claim of abuse, with her viewers seemingly believing what she was saying. Now, remember how I mentioned how tzuyang's ex would blackmail her? Now, even before her YouTube channel started, he'd forced tzuyang into working in one of those adult bars, which he also worked at, where all she had to do was pour drinks for men and talk to the customers, which, yeah, is honest work, but he'd force her to give him all of her earnings, even during her early YouTube days. And the blackmailing would continue to pile on, as tzuyang's ex would even blackmail her into a very obvious unfair contract that would make tzuyang give over 70% of her revenue and all of her ad revenue to himself. You can very much tell how much of a little bitch tzuyang's ex-boyfriend was by avoiding hitting her in the face because of her making YouTube content, so that way not too many people would notice. Even though he tried his best to hide the fact that he'd abused her, to not make a discussion over it, it kind of backfired on him and didn't really do a good job of hiding it anyways. One of the worst parts is that there's audio recordings out there of Tzuyang and her ex-boyfriend arguing, screaming at each other, with Tzuyang's ex hitting her and Tzuyang pleading for him to stop. All of this was played on Tzuyang's stream with her lawyers present to show the very obvious evidence that there is of Tzuyang's ex being a very abusive manipulator. It's just horrible, sick stuff, man. Fortunately and unfortunately, it all came to a stop when her ex would come over to her house and send messages to her and her staff who would help her out with her YouTube videos, threatening them that he would kill their families. At that very point, Tzuyang would file civil and criminal lawsuits against her ex, later exposing him on her YouTube channel with those streams of her with her lawyers. Now just think about this for a bit. Tzuyang literally risked her whole career and her whole life for her own staff. Like, imagine if you have your own manager or boss who rescued all for you and their staff. At that point, that's when you know when you're in the right hands. I mean, take it from me. I'd yearn, even kill for a boss like that. For like every single job that I've ever had. But yeah, good on Tzuyang for that. Now, here's where the unfortunately comes in. After filing the lawsuit on him, he unfortunately game-ended himself. Imagine how much of a fucking coward you have to be to not only hit and abuse a loved one, but to not have the balls to face the consequences of which you did to said loved one and go see the man downstairs instead. Like, holy, how much of a fucking bitch do you have to fucking be? Like, legitimately.
No. Wait.
Now, all this has been going on for around 4-ish years, and I really hope now Tzuyang can breathe peacefully knowing that her abuser is suffering in the deepest parts of, and for standing up not only for herself, but her employees, even enduring the pain up until he put his finger on her staff. But I mean, I really hope she gets the justice that she truly deserves, even if that rat bastard died, and she continues to make the content that she enjoys doing, which is mukbang. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's more documents and court orders going on in the background, but that's just pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. So yeah, just let me know what you think about this, and good luck to Tzuyang. I'll catch you later.
Burger. Want a bigger burger? Put ham in it. Say bigger!